quite different. For those of you who haven't read the chat, the spoiler log race is quite different. Says these runners were, once the seed was rolled like 15 minutes ago, the runners were given a file that basically gives the locations of all the items, the dungeon layout, secrets, and it's the runner's job to take that information and route it so they can be able to get their items in the most efficient ways possible and beat the game and rescue Zelda.
And as you can see, our wonderful tracker behind the scenes has already filled out the information, and we can see that levels 2 and 4 are stacked.
Yeah, I mean, would you go for level 4 first or level 2 first? Because level 4 has the silvers and the bow, which is practically required to defeat Ganon. But level 2 has our red ring and any key, which will give you defense and practically a free pass through the dungeons. And we're off.
So I'm weird. I would just go straight to level 8 and try to get that white sword.
Well, a little extra firepower doesn't do anyone wrong.
That, and if the wood sword is in kind of an awkward location compared to where the start is, it may well be worth it. Speaking of start, it looks like our runners are going to this Armo spot over here, which has the ladder. That's kind of important, a little bit important, a smidge important.
I mean, it's kind of important to get around Hyrule in the dungeons. And we see Saitan picking up our big tonight, which is 139 rupees. That is the only secret worth mentioning because the rest are low, low, low.
And you see a free candle pickup in the same general vicinity, so kind of makes sense.
I mean, it can be a good weapon and it's not too out of the way, so you're able to like get a hit if you need to like try to get bombs or something.
And Saitan takes death. Does not get the candle though, so he's going to have to go back. Magic Friends is back up and running. Fury has been doing some shenanigans to get his candle. He now has it. And we'll see where the runners decide to go from here.
So we do see Lionel's on the overworld and Dark Nuts. I think this probably will mean Wizrobes are in the dungeons. And we saw Fury take a death and back to start he goes.
Yes, the Wishrobes, the Gorillas, and the Moblins will be our dungeon enemies today.
No patches?
I mean, Patchers are always in dungeons. It's just a matter of if you get 11 of them or not.
Patcher just needs a hug. You get it. I get it.
So it looks like Mr. Cab is going straight to that level 2. Ish. He's actually just visiting the arrow shop.
And Magic Friends took a death and is heading back to start as well.
For what it's worth, the screen that Mr. Cab wants for level 2 is one north of that. I'm like 78% certain.
You like cool person who has the map memorized. I'm just going off the seat of my pants and trying to remember where stuff is. And we see Mr. Cab getting the wood sword. Or at least I think that is the wood sword. Yep, it is.
I may only be cheating a little bit by having a map up with coordinates.
I should do that eventually, but I'm just lazy.
Nothing wrong with that.
So Cab, armed with the pokey stick of wood, takes a death, and I think might head back to start.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's just a billy club. Level 2, according to the spoiler log, is at that location, which translates to... So I remember row, and then that.
We have a surprising play from Mr. Cab. They're going into level 6. Looks like they decided they want to pick up the recorder.
Let's see here. Well, recorders of all the items, of all the optional items, recorder is the most likely to be needed, even knowing where all the caves are, just because of the potential for big dogger blocks. which is
Well,
not in the spoiler log.
You also have to remember that even with the Dig Dogger blocks, the flute can take you to dungeons.
Yep.
So it's a useful way of travel that will reduce time overall.
And we have some Gibdos. Best enemies in the game. Sometimes.
Yeah, if they're not on their way to rescue Ganon.
Even then, they're better than Room Full of Eight Blue Wish Robes with 4 BMO statues, and oh, by the way, you have half a heart.
You forgot about having to deal with Poe's voices in the beginning of a seed with only a wood sword.
Yeah, that's not too bad. You just stab him a bunch, and then just stab him some more.
Isn't it like 11 times just to get one down, and then you have like 5 or 6 of them in a room?
It is 10 of them in vanilla. So we see Magic Friends going into level 6. Fury is in level 4. Sidetown is in level 2. Recorder was free on the floor, so no big issues there getting that.
And Sidetown is making the play for the red ring in any key. I think this is smart because Sidetown is a master of combat, and basically with the red arm equipped with the red ring and the any key, dungeon doors wouldn't be as much as a block, and the red ring would have higher defense, and Sidetown would be able to take some hits. But in level 4, where we see Fury is going after the bow and the silver arrows, which are required to defeat the pig.
You see, I like both decisions. Oh, but that is a key block for Fury. He's going to have to come back later.
Looks like the Sidetown's going to benefit from routing this with the key block, with the any key.
Probably. But the other big thing is that this also allows Sidetown to most likely skip just about every heart he comes across, because there's no real reason for him to pick up hearts now.
You also have to remember Sidetown might want to get the red ring out of level 2, and that will make it as less consequential.
Exactly.
For those wondering in chat, they don't know what specific enemies are in each room. There's like a set of enemies that it can be chosen from.
They do know that the enemies in the dungeons will be some combination of moblins, gorillas, wizrobes, based on what's been seen on the overworld, but that's about it. And that looked like a potential ladder block in level 2.
Well, Sidetown does have their any key.
Dungeon doors, no more, except for those pesky shutters. You kind of have to still deal with those. Oh, and the bomb walls. That doesn't necessarily open the bomb walls either. But hey, you get the locked doors for free.
Well, it's bombs. Bombs go boom. If only this were a boomstick seed.
Yeah, you know. You kill an enemy with a bomb, and then if you killed 9 enemies in a row previously without getting hit, you get another bomb, and then next thing you know, you just have infinite bombs, because I still don't quite know how enemies like Tektites physically drop bombs, because they're jumping spiders.
Just say Nintendo logic. Let's leave it at that. If we think too much about it, Miyamoto will fry our brains.
Yeah, well, you know. Mr. Cab is looking for something in this level 6. Probably the Triforce. As that's not indicated in the spoiler log map.
The Triforces are quite important. We kind of need those to open up level 9.
I mean, somebody will eventually find Old Man Skip.
Keyword, eventually.
I think Meat Skip's more likely. Sidetown in level 2, looking for his Triforce and Red Ring. Everybody else is in level 6.
What's the deal about level 6 that you and I are not getting? Is it like some, hey, let's go grab the Triforce and leave and get that recorder?
I think it's a combination of recorder and just how big the dungeon usually is. It may be a logic of, okay, well, I have to come here anyway. I might as well just go ahead and knock this out now. Mr. Cab now finds level 4. There's a heart in the stair.
Well, Sidetown found the Triforce in 2. So for the runners that didn't grab the ladder immediately, like, why not? They'd be ladder blocked there.
Yeah, that's kind of important. Sighttown has opted instead, though. I want this red ring.
Yeah, I think Sighttown's gonna grab the red ring pretty soon.
Which is definitely not the worst idea in the world, especially when you're this early in and have 3 hearts.
Yeah, and the enemies can pack quite a punch. As we've seen, our runners take overworld deaths already.
And, ooh, was Sighttown blocked from getting the red ring?
I did not see. I just saw like a skull face. I don't know if there was like some sort of meat block or something. I don't know.
Well, he did see Ganon's room, but he didn't grab the Triforce. He just up and ate out. I guess he was blocked by something.
Oh,
Big Dogger block.
Red ring. Whoa!
Oh, he did.
Level 6 was the play. Huh.
And he never got the ladder. He went immediately to level 2 and didn't get the ladder. That's weird.
I thought Sighttown got the ladder.
So now he's got to go to 6, get that recorder, and then he can go back to 2 to get his red ring.
Now that's some meta routing. Or is Fury just pulling one over all of us?
Well, I think Fury is taking a lot of the same logic that we were talking about earlier, where you go to the large dungeons first and you just knock them out, especially if you know you need an item out of it, because it's going to take you a while to get through it. However, I believe Fury died in the Triforce room.
Stupid question. Do you have any ideas what the letters mean on the spoiler log and the map designs?
Yes, actually. Let me scroll down to 1. So those letters are where the staircases are. A will go to A, B will go to B, C will go to C, etc. And if a staircase does not lead to a room in the dungeon or leads very far off the map, that means that is your item stair.
Thank you. The more you know.
It's very useful if you're trying to read these things and like, why is there a G in level 9?
Oh no! Magic Friends took a death in the item room. I don't know if they got the item that was there. Did they get the bow? Because I'm reading chat, they said they died in the bow staircase. Oh no, you gotta fight back to that bow. But look at these shapes.
I mean, this level 4 is just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I don't know about you.
Sure. Let's leave it at that.
This is pure beauty.
If you say so. But remember, Speed Gaming is a family channel, or at least something like that.
Level 9 is not split. I thought level 9 was split looking at this map, but it's not. So Sighttown's now back at level 2. Now that he has his ladder, he's going to grab his Triforce.
Sighttown may just...
He's back for the red ring now.
I mean, I don't think it's worth it, but Sighttown's also has an extremely good combat, so I think he'd be able to survive without taking some hits.
It's all a matter of how comfortable do you feel doing low percent.
True.
Fury is working on getting his bow. It's going to be soon to be 3 out of our 4 runners with bow, and...
well, Mr. Cat picked up the silvers on the floor in 4.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, what's interesting to see is that the magic key so far hasn't been that much of an advantage for Sighttown because all the other runners are at a decent number of keys.
Yeah, and some of them have been 4 item drops, or just defeat the enemies and you get it.
Mm-hmm. Now Sighttown's going to level 3. This is a bit of a risk.
Level 3 has the power bracelet, but we're in first quest, if I looked at the log correctly. So there's not going to be as many checks as there would be in second quest.
And remember that the runners do know exactly where the dungeons are, so they don't necessarily need to check those power bracelet spots at all unless there's something like a free potion or a large secret under one.
Did we We didn't get. Did we get the location of Mags in the spoiler log? I don't know if I misread.
Yes, I can go look that up real quick. Okay, so that is there, which is gonna be at H3. It's gonna be in the Deadwoods behind a recorder spot.
So the recorder is useful for that. If they decide to get enough hearts to pick up Mags.
Which, well, you know.
It's Mags.
Yeah. It's gonna be 14 plus. Wait. Anyway. So the reason I think this is a bit of a risk on Sidetown's part to go ahead and do 3 now is, thankfully it's not, but if level 3 had been Goma blocked, that would have made for a less than ideal situation for Sidetown, as Mr. Cab is going to pick up his Triforce at a level 4. It's going to put him and Sidetown tied at 2 Triforces apiece. Sidetown's probably going to head to level 8 here. We'll see if he decides to dig that white sword out or if he just takes his Triforce and leaves.
Well, from what I've been noticing, where was I in thought? The NEK hasn't had much advantage. We said that. The recorder goes to dungeons completed or not completed in this?
I believe it goes to dungeons completed. I didn't see it going to incomplete. That's an 8. Look at that 8.
Ew.
That 8 is as good. That 8 is as wonderful as 4. I can say these things because I'm not racing this. If I was racing it, I'd hate it.
Does this look like a Pac-Man ghost, or is it just me?
I was trying to figure out what that is. It definitely has a little bit of a face there in the center. I like the Pac-Man ghost. I'm going with that. I shall agree. As Mr. Cab goes to level 1.
Oh, I just remembered my thought now. Since the runners have had access to the bow and silvers early, do you think we'll be able to see more bosses like Goma or Dig Doggers guarding more Triforces due to the early access of these items?
Not necessarily. Maybe because of the bow, but I don't know exactly how the boss spawning logic. Like, outside of the basic, you can't have a bow blocked by a Goma. I'm not quite sure if the boss spawning logic particularly cares in terms of, is it going to be a Goma versus not, based on how early you have access to the bow and how few items you need to get to it.
And Mr. Cab picked up the boomerang.
I've become more a fan of the boomerang recently, just if for no other reason than it makes forcing bombs a whole lot less stressful. Well,
At least we aren't discussing the war between the boomerang and the magical boomerang tonight. I guess you can say that's all bananas.
I can't clap with one hand, but I appreciate the pun. In full.
I try. I'm kind of split between my options.
So, there's the Voice Rubs an 8. It's always fun. Here he takes another death. Magic Friends is going up to Death Mountain.
I think 8 is also trying to do its best impression of level 9.
Ooh, that's actually kind of clever from Magic Friends. He goes up to Death Mountain, which we know generally has nothing in the seed, to get the candle from a purchase. Instead of trying to deal with that Lionel screen to get the free one out of the bonus cave. I like that.
I mean, yeah, it prevents an overworld death and everything.
I actually really like that. Mr. Cab is done with level 1.
That went by so fast, I blinked and I missed it.
Level 1 is quite small. Magic Friends is now in level 5.
And Fury just picked up the Triforce out of 5.
And is now looking like he's going to head somewhere else. We also missed him grabbing the Triforce out of 7. That must not have been a large dungeon. Or we were focused on other things at the time. Or at least I was. I won't speak on your behalf.
I don't know which dungeon it was, but somewhere there's a dig dogger block Triforce.
It's 5. Magic Friends is in the just pass through the room that has it.
So that means Sci-Town's gonna need to go to 6 before level 5.
You know, honestly, 6 first was probably the move to make here.
Yeah, not thinking about it. I mean, because I personally, if I don't run these seeds, or I don't run seeds at all, I probably would have gone for probably would have done the same thing as Side Town to get the red ring and the any key so I could move freely through dungeons and be able to take hits. But that gamble just didn't work.
Sci-Town finds the white sword relatively deep in level 8. I don't think you would have been able to get to that quite smoothly without a sword, so probably not going to end up being something that any of the persons running this race end up doing. They might try it, but seeing how deep it is in 8, you probably just skip it.
Oh, Patrick came in and wanted to say hi on Sci-Town's screen for a bit.
Yes, Patrick, we understand that you're very loud and you have demands for copious amounts of bees in your room, but bees get everywhere, and your roommates may not appreciate the amount of bees you want. That is one thing the spoiler log does not tell us, is whether an item is on the floor or on the ground. And, well, that explains why we missed level 7. It is one room in. Triforce and League.
Yeah, that was fast. I mean, the raft is the raft. Who cares about the raft?
Raft just isn't worth it. Like, if you know you need it, yeah, you pick it up. If you don't know you need it, you probably pick it up anyway. But if you're in a situation of, you don't need it, you just skip it. Sci-Town gets his Triforce out of 8. Fury is going to give us the confirmation we all knew that Red Ring is in fact Dig Dogger blocked. And Ladder blocked to boot.
Yeah.
Mr. Cab is about to also pick that up. I know the difference between the two of them is Fury has picked up the Triforce out of 5, Cab has not, but Cab has done level 1.
True. But they're still 3 Triforces apiece.
That is correct. It will tell you where the staircase in level 7 is, but it will not tell you what item is in that staircase, nor will it tell you where the drops are.
Nor will it tell you what enemies are in the room, whether it's going to be normal enemies or a boss.
That is correct. Magic Friends looks like he's trying to find his way around. I think he's going to head to 8 here, maybe into this level that's here, because there seemed to be a level here. Nope, he's going probably to 8.
What the heck is this 2? It's like...
Magic Friends is going to 3. Okay. Sci-Town's now in level 1. Level 2 is... it's a nurse's hat, just with a whole lot of negative space.
If you say so.
I mean, what else? I don't see any other suggestions coming out.
And X marks the spot.
Sure.
So we have level 9 lookalike, Pac-Man, X marks the spot. What other names?
Level 3 is some sort of weird chair.
It looks like a toilet seat to me.
I mean, I guess technically, depending on who you ask, that is a chair.
Depends on who you ask, that is true.
She has a suggestion of a poodle as well.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Now, because I doubt any of our runners are going to pick up the map of level 1, I'm going to go look at it in the spoiler log, and we'll go from there. Level 4 is just what happens when your pen overflows while you're writing.
I guess you can say that's an ink. Well, it's an ink spill. I like some of the suggestions in chat. I like the one about the seesaw with assembly required for level 3.
I kind of like that. Level 1 is basically just a little hook, like a little fat hook.
I guess you can say it's the dungeon to hook you in.
I mean, the boomerang is very important. Why don't you pick
It's
up
the boomerang. I mean, it's praised like Lord Helix in some circles.
We're also never going to see the map of level 7, because that is a 2-room dungeon, so... Level 7 looks like forked lightning a little bit.
I'll take your word on it. And we see Fury in level 8 looking for that Triforce, though, is just walking right past that Gleok like no tomorrow. Well, he's fighting it. And we see Magic Friends take it to F in level 2.
Well, this can't be a drop room for Fury, so it makes sense to kill it.
True. It could be guarding something.
Sci-Town is now back in level 4, looking for his bow. Magic Friends is looking for his any key and recorder in 2.
The any key and red ring.
You're right. I misspoke.
Wait, but Magic Friends, the recorder isn't marked on their trafters, so I don't think they have the recorders, so that means they won't be able to get the red ring.
Well, my guess is they likely have not gone into level 6 yet.
And we see Sci-Town getting their bow out of level 4.
This is a very weird seed.
I know.
Like, this is the kind of seed that you'd want to see in the Router's Relish, where you have the whole week to route it. But on a 15-minute, it has just enough trolliness to make it feel like you're still semi-blind going in.
True. I mean, in level 2 earlier, that kind of led Sci-Town on a wild goose chase.
I still want to see 3 Patras in level 9, all blocking Zelda in a row.
I still want to see Goma block Silvers, but am I going to get that? No.
Goma block Silvers is one of the best things that can happen if you're not the runner. If you're the runner, it's just meh, unless you bought arrows early, which I always advocate buying arrows early if you can afford them.
And Fury gets the Triforce out of level 8. And that leaves 2 Triforces to go.
Levels 1 and 6. Now, he did die in the room in level 6 that had the Triforce, but now that he's armed to the teeth, he should be able to get that with no problem.
I mean, the red ring practically is a suit of armor.
Yeah. I see a comment in chat that Vanilla is the trolliest seed. Second Quest Vanilla is the trolliest seed ever.
Hey, I have an idea. I don't think anyone would kill me to suggest a Vanilla Second Quest seed for one night of these Sunday night randos.
I mean, if you know Second Quest, you kind of just know where to go, but...
But if you don't know the flag set... I mean, if you know, like, the flag set, but you don't know it's vanilla...
Also, if you don't know that the walk-through walls are a thing.
That would be a fun night.
That's probably the toughest part about Second Quest is the walk-through walls, especially level 4.
Man, though I do know next week we are having the rando flags from last year. That was a fun tournament. So if you're enjoying this week, if you come back at 10 next Sunday, you'll be able to see those flags.
Now, is that the one where the game randomly decides what to randomize and then randomizes the things that were randomly decided to be randomized and it's all just, oops, all Patras?
Sure, but I don't remember the exact randos. I remember I believe dungeon locations were, well, it's vanilla dungeon locations, but the dungeons were randomized and items were randomized. You know the drill.
You know what? I might actually just want to go look this thing up at some point.
And we see Sci-Town is just in that level, is exploring level 7, is picking up a bomb upgrade. And that gets to 14 bombs.
So that's interesting. That the bomb upgrade is 2 rooms to the left, and because Sci-Town was able to open that door from the left, he gets the bomb upgrade. That's actually great.
That might be useful in level 9.
If the runners start running out of bombs at 9, absolutely.
I mean, as a commentator, I don't mind seeing people take the walk of shame, but as a runner, I don't imagine it feels good.
You see, at that point, you just grind on whatever bomb droppers you can that you have access to. If it's not like, oh, there's one red Riz Robe in the next, 50 rooms. So Sci-Town still has not been to 6. Still doesn't have the recorder. Magic Friends does not have the recorder either. Mr. Cab and Fury both do. Fury's actually back in 6. He could very well be our first runner into 9, as he's only got to get this. One Triforce out of here, and then he's done. And it turns out the decision to leave 6 early when he died that one time actually is going to tremendously help him, as now he can come in here with silver arrows. He's got red ring. He does not have white sword, actually.
That means Ganon's going to take a couple more hits. But what's a couple more hits?
Yeah, just get the stun lock. No big deal.
And we see Mr. Cab picked up some extra health in 8. And is looking to find that Triforce.
What I find particularly interesting is the heart counts on all the runners. Magic Friends is at 4, Scytown is at 4, neither of them have the red ring. Fury has the red ring and is at 3.
And look at Mr. Cab. I can't count because I can't squint my eyes like that right now.
That is correct. Fury has not gotten a single heart container yet that I know of. If he got one and gave one to an old man, then, well, that must have been very quick. I like this decision from Fury as well, to skip the tough combat rooms for later until you get a compass, or until you have no choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you can do it, if you can just navigate the rooms and try to get through as fast as you can, you're lowering the amount of choices you have for where the Triforce could be. And we see Scytown just dips on that red candle.
Does not need it.
And dips out of 5 without picking up the Triforce.
It's Dig Dog. Well, remember, it is Dig Dogger.
Oh, right.
He's got to go to 6 now.
Yeah, avoiding 6 is coming back to bite Scytown in the butt.
Mr. Cabs picked up his Triforce out of level 8. And I say that skipping the tough combat rooms is generally good to do, but it is very easy to tunnel vision on, oh, I can do this. Oh, physically, there's nothing stopping me from doing this room. Let me do this room. Even if it's going to take you significantly longer to do it than if you just come back later.
That's an interesting perspective, because I think if you're like at low percent type of, well, this isn't low percent, but with such low and such little amount of hearts and some, if you don't have the red ring, I think you'd want to avoid those tough rooms.
So Scytown is in 6. Magic Friends picks up his Triforce out of level 2. That's his 2nd. Mr. Cab picks up his Triforce out of level 5. That is his 7th. Fury is going into level 9, which is at the Coast Shop. And let's see.
It's pink tonight.
Now, the race right now between Fury and Cab, especially because if Cab kills this room, he's going to get that final Triforce. 9 can very easily swing this race one way or the other if Fury takes a stair that Cab doesn't, or Cab takes a door that Fury doesn't. 9 can very easily decide the race between the two of them right now. For those not in the know, here's a little knowledge to drop. 9 is known as the Great Equalizer due to how big it usually is. So, what the direction you take in 9 makes a huge difference. Also, it matters if you have the amount of bombs. Keys don't matter right now because we have the any key, but 9 can swing the direction. The pendulum swings with 9. God, I can't speak. We're getting asked in the chat if they know where the bomb walls are. Interestingly, it does actually show in the spoiler log which walls are solid. It does not tell you what you need to go through a door, but it does tell you if there's a door there. Looks like Fury is going to find Ganon.
That was fast. I think we'll have Bacon even faster. And Mr. Cab just entered level 9.
Let's see which way Mr. Cab goes. I don't think we've seen a Zelda door yet, so if Cab finds where Zelda is, he's just got to make that his way over to that Ganon, which, based on where he is, and looking at the spoiler log, there is only one way to get in there, and you have to take a stair.
Well, we just missed Ganon turning into bacon bits, but Ganon's dead on Fury's end, and now Fury just has to find Zelda's room in 9, which
This
is
assuming you
huge.
didn't already see it, which you might have. Could be in this main handler room for all we know.
But we don't know if the door opens or not.
The door does open in the main handler room. Fury looks like he's very directly going somewhere. Oh, there's the door.
That
we
was
already saw
fast.
the door, I guess. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I do not know official times off the top of my head or stuff, but Fury are placing, but Fury finished.
So Fury's going to be in first place with an official time of, if I did the math right, 34:18. And if you look at the log of the race afterwards, you'll need to subtract 15 minutes from every runner's time to account for the spoiler log thing. Yeah, Fury's gonna take first place in this one. That death in 6 actually ended up being extremely consequential as far as ultimately speeding the seat up. Mr. Cab now knows where Zelda is. He just has to find Ganon.
Well, for Fury, that death in 6 was a blessing in disguise. And Sci-Town gets their Triforce out of 6, but I didn't see if they picked up the recorder.
Based on the fact that he's going back in, he did not get to it yet.
Yeah, I was worried Sci-Town was going to dip out of 6 and forget he didn't grab the recorder.
I think a quick pause would have fixed that if he did. Mr. Cab is back in the depths of level 9, looking for now what he knows has to be a magic stair to get to Ganon.
And Magic Friends takes the death in level 3.
Sounds like with that thing, we are joined by a Mr. Fury SK. GG's and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
So the death in 6 ended up being the best thing that happened to you in the seed.
Perhaps I kind of sort of wished I could have cleared that room because my intention was to clear the room on the other side of the staircase, but the said no.
Sorry to interrupt you guys real quick, but Mr. Cab is fighting Ganon.
The difference between the two of you was you were entering 9 as Cab was going into 5 to get his Triforce.
Yeah, that recorder being required, once I saw that, kind of made me feel pretty good about what was going to happen the rest of the way.
So your gut instinct was to go into 6 for that recorder when you saw the spoiler log?
Nope, my gut instinct was going to 6 because there's a bunch of rooms right around the starting location for entering the dungeon, and I was hopeful I could pick up 2 or 3 keys since 4 had both bow and silvers and ladder was free, so I kind of wanted to get my go mode items achieved, and just happened upon the recorder by luck. Floor drop recorder is pretty lucky, so.
I mean, you could have gone to 2 and gotten the any key out of there.
Yeah, but that would have required a lot of movement across the overworld. The only thing I didn't really track was the any roads, but I saw 3 of them were over on the left side, so I knew that it was unlikely that I could get over there quickly.
Yes. Sci-Town did end up going for that 2 first route to get that any key in the red ring. And
You got blocked out of that red ring because of that dig dogger.
Yep. And then he did not go back to 6 until just now. Figuring, yeah, you know what, I don't need a red ring. And then 5 said, nope, you need the stick dogger.
And Sci-Town's just picking up that extra heart for some love and a little bit of luck. And Magic Friends gets their 3rd Triforce out of 3.
Yeah, I contemplated getting 1 heart at the take any one. Really wanted to keep my beam sword and figured a potion with a red ring would get me just as far.
I mean, considering the level of combat that we know you can do, I'm not at all surprised that you did it on 3 hearts. like that's one thing that I find is interesting about these type of seeds is Cab is sitting on currently 9 hearts. You were sitting on 3, and the difference between you guys really is just Cab being a little bit slower to get into 9 and having a little bit more trouble finding Ganon. So
Wait, I'm not crazy. Didn't Mr. Cab find an attempt to fight Ganon, but I don't know if he got through Ganon or died.
Oh yeah, he did reach Ganon, didn't he? Is he looking for an alternate path to Zelda?
That's what I'm wondering, because Cab found Zelda earlier.
Yeah, there really is no alternate route. It's all staircase locked into two big segments and a third small segment.
I hope he didn't mismark the room that was linked to Zelda.
Or he might not be aware that the spoiler log shows you which walls are solid.
Thank you, Pat, for letting us know that Ganon is dead on Cab's end. So that's interesting how the spoiler log can affect it due to knowledge of it.
And he might have mismarked it because now Psytown's in the Ganon fight, but Psytown has 4 hearts and no ring. Oh, sorry, he has 5 hearts. He can't survive a hit, as he just did.
But Psytown also has the white sword and probably will be able to get the stun lock.
Well, he has to not get hit in order to get that stun lock to begin with. It looks like, he does not get it there. He's down to 3 hearts. He's got to be a little careful, even though he does have white sword. Down to 2. There it is.
And we have Bacon on that end. And Magic Friends just took a death in level 8 and is going back to explore Pac-Man Ghost again.
And real quick, we did have a second place finish of Shaddy with an official time of 54:04, including the 15-minute spoiler log check. So if we subtract the 15 minutes, that comes out to about 39:04.
Yes, that's correct. And Mr. Cab just notes that magical boomerang, and I think Mr. Cab is going to look over their tracker and hope they find Zelda.
But with that, Psytown is going to take 3rd place with an official time of 56:19, which is 41:19 when you consider the spoiler log check. And that mismark from Cab actually did allow Psytown time to sneak in there.
Well, Psytown did catch up quite fast, so... And Mr. Cab's just wandering around. I wonder when they're going to, when they clear all the rooms, if they clear all the rooms in 9 before checking their tracker and not being able to notice anything, and wonder if they mislabeled it something.
I think that's what he's doing now.
Right now.
Yeah, based on how long he's paused, I think he's looking over the map again and saying, okay, what room did I miss? Looks like he's heading back in the right direction now. Magic Friend still in 8, does have that white sword. Just trying to make his way through this dungeon, which this is not a short 8 by any stretch.
Psytown will not be joining us for an interview, but we still have Fury here, if he's still here.
Yep. You know what's interesting about this 8? And I don't know if any of the runners on screen checked it because I wasn't watching 8 that closely between the 4 people. But I wonder if the shortcut in 8 was blocked by something to where you couldn't just go left and up to get to the Triforce in 8. You had to go all the way around the long way. Because looking at the map of it, you should be able to cut up and then down through that lower left corner to get to where the Triforce is. Now, of course, you don't know what's there, mind you.
Mr. Cab might be looking for a compass.
That's what it looks like he's doing, is he's looking for a compass or trying to figure out if he thinks he's seen all of the shutter doors.
Yeah, but for those wondering, in chat, Mr. Cab did see Zelda's door before, but I don't think Mr. Cab noticed that it was Zelda's door, and thus is still looking around for Zelda.
Magic Friends is now still in level 8. Gonna take that shortcut that I was mentioning earlier. I'm curious as to if this is blocked by like a shoot room. Or if it's by the time you get the compass, you're already there. You might as well go around the other way.
Man, I can't say one of my favorite phrases tonight.
Which is,
Oh, shoot.
well, you know.
And was that Ganon's room that Mr. Cab just went through, or no?
Yeah, Mr. Cab is back going through Ganon's room. He's definitely looking for this compass now, because he's got to be thinking he missed it. He just doesn't know where.
But that does give some useful information, because that means Ganon's room has 2 entrances. So you wouldn't have to possibly take the magical staircase to Ganon.
Looking at the map in the spoiler log, that room south of Ganon's a dead end.
Oh, Magic Friends got their Triforce out of 8 and is getting the heck out of there. I support that decision.
Yeah. I'm guessing he's gonna go back to... he's heading in the direction of 1. Oh. There's a compass for Mr. Cab. He's now going to see where Zelda is.
I mean, at least she's not as mysterious, getting kidnapped as much as Princess Peach.
Well, she did have enough time to give level 9 a nice pink paint job. So, yeah.
Yeah, true. But we will soon be reaching Zelda's room on Mr. Cab's end.
There's a reason that this is called the Pepto-Bismol palette. Cab realizes he needs to go around to get to Zelda.
And Magic Friends is killing these bunnies. Not bunnies, pose voices. I don't know why I called them bunnies right now. Maybe it's just they just look like them.
I mean, bunnies is a relatively common name for them, so don't feel bad about it.
So, voices. Oh, and Mr. Cab, that's a Zelda.
Yes, he did. So that is going to be a 4th place finish with a time of 1:01:46, which translates to a 46:46 when you consider the spoiler log check.
And
Really
Mr.
just
Cab,
sorry.
Mr. Cab has just joined us.
Hi.
GG, sir.
GG.
So, Zelda.
Yeah, I'm looking at my map, and I guess I ducked into that room very briefly and just didn't even notice there was a shutter door there. I was probably like, no, I want to go see what's up there, and just didn't even look. And well, you saw the rest.
We were thinking you mismarked it, like you had cleared the room and thought that you saw a door open or something.
I effectively had it like that. Like, I have it marked as like a big old X and there was nothing next to it. I was like, oh yeah, nothing's there. Let's go. So, yeah, effectively.
Of our on-stream runners, you were actually the second one in level 9. And you were not far behind from Fury, but you had like way more hearts.
Yeah, I went for 2 staircase hearts when I found them in dungeons. I took my shot at the white sword heart, and then obviously the coast heart was right there too. It's kind of like, well, might as well. I don't think it ever came into play. I don't think by the time I had gone again, and I had up and date at least once.
Magic Friends has picked up a heart out of level 1, speaking of hearts. He's just looking for the Triforce in here, and he will be done. Then he has to just do the trifecta 4, 5, 6. Which, he's got his Triforce.
Shoutouts to levels 5 and 7 tonight.
You have the recorder going into 5 the first time?
Yeah, I went to 6 first. I was trying to go to 2 first, but ended up in 6 first.
I went for 4 first and got the key block, and then went to 6 for keys and found the recorder just by circumstance, and ended up bailing me out big time with some big items and Triforces behind it.
Level 6 really was the play for the beginning of the seed tonight.
It was a kind of an accident in the end, because I kind of knew when I was looking over the spoiler log, one of the things I was looking for was where is my blue candle? And I realized it was I think it's on a recorder screen on Death Mountain. I probably have that marked, but still, that drove me to find the recorder first.
We saw the candle shop. It was actually at the top of the ladder to go to that level 9 section of Death Mountain. It was one to the right of that recorder screen.
Yeah, I was off by 1 on that, and as soon as I said that here, I was like, no, wait, there's nothing on that screen. I had a couple of screens marked 1 too far to the right. Like I originally had level 6 at the quest 1 level 2 location. And then I realized, wait, the recorder can't be locked behind a recorder.
So how do you guys feel about level 7 tonight?
More level 7s should be like that. Why can't level 7 be this nice to us every day of the week?
Because it wouldn't be RBG's Bane, and level 7 wouldn't be level 7. Level 8 obviously took on the moniker of level 7 tonight.
It did, but level 8 at least was nice enough to give us a white sword along the way.
Where was the white sword in there? I got extremely lucky on my Triforce route, because I guess I just bombed that way and got there fast.
I just kind of went up as far as I could, and then I knew there was an item kind of in the top right, and just kind of... Well, yeah, I knew there was an item staircase, and I went there, and it was sitting right on the floor in a corridor staircase room. That was one of the staircase hearts I picked up.
Real quick, we do have a 5th place finisher of a Mr. F. Coughlin. Official time of 1:06:33, factoring in the spoiler log check. That's 51:33, I think.
I believe so, if my mental math's correct, but it's late.
As we all know, trying to do math on stream is a very dangerous game, but...
I was told there would be no math.
I mean, math on stream just makes me enough to go through calculus, but I can't do addition and subtraction. Math on stream, why do you hurt us?
Yeah, just throw a gradient in there, no big deal.
Math is integral to the stream.
But are you sure it's not a differential for the viewers?
You might have are you gonna take a derivative of that?
On a slippery slope here.
He's probably just very upset with all of us right now.
We've almost reached our limit.
Don't you know that's infinite?
We'll find a way to get there.
No, our limit's 0. It's not infinity.
Unless you put it over infinity.
True. Well, my asymptotes I drew some asymptotes and decided to say you shall not pass.
Magic Francis picked up the Triforce out of level 6. I don't recall seeing him pick up the recorder.
Oh, no. That's gonna require another dip into level 6. Is that gonna be a double dip or a triple dip is the question.
I think it's ultimately going to be a triple dip, because I want to say he was in level 6 with everybody else early.
I think so, too.
Of course, I can't say I blame him. He doesn't have a red ring, and he sees it's a whole bunch of wish robes, so he figures, meh.
I'd run far, far away from that.
I was really close to running back to level 2 when I saw Wizrobes in level 6.
And if you had, you would have had a magic key.
Oh yeah, I knew that was in there too. Like, I think I took a death on the screen before the fairy over there, because I was like, as long as I'm here, I got a candle now.
I need to look up where level 5 was to see if the red candle was candle blocked.
The red candle was candle blocked.
Yay!
It was
Candle block. One of the useless candle blocks.
On the screen to the left of the kind of the south 100 secret.
Ah, okay.
So it was by a lake.
That explains why. Don't remember it because I pretty much don't go to that screen. Well, ever, except as a pass through in randos, and
Yeah,
check the cave.
I think Magic Friends is looking over their map and stuff in the spoiler log to get a grip on level 4. I just am gonna feel really bad when they realize that level 5's Triforce is Dig Dogger and Recorder blocked.
You know, for as free as you could just walk into this level 4, it is not an easy 4.
Yeah, then a punch on level 4 tonight.
And we do have a 6th place finish. Potato Pony has finished in 6th place with a time of 1:10:24, which translates to a 55:24.
So I just am looking over Magic. The reason level 4 is hitting so hard on Magic Friends is because Magic Friends does not have the red ring.
Right, and he can't get that unless he gets the recorder out of level 6.
Here we have a catch-22.
Although he's within striking distance of a blue ring if he wants it.
I'll have to check the price on the blue ring. Or could you?
Let's check it real quick.
Blue ring is $247 at shop 4.
Close to a strike for that blue ring.
And that's the rare shop.
Yep. The good news is the 100 secret was like 130, so as long as you took a note of where those were.
Yeah, that was one of my first thoughts when I saw the spoiler log.
Look, you mean you don't want to get like, I don't know, 60 some odd small secrets?
Hey, let's
Not when
just...
they're worth only 4.
It's better to be rolling in rupees.
All right, I'm going to take my leave. Thanks for doing the commentary. Thanks for everybody else involved here. Good race.
So, GG's again, Mr. Cab, and thank you for joining us here in the booth.
All right, have a good one.
You do.
GG.
Magic Friends is now in the mini second quest 8 that is this level 4. Does not quite have those silver arrows yet, so he's going to have to come back in for those.
I mean, silver arrows are kind of important. They're pointy and they're good kebabs.
Yes, they probably are also less likely to burn if you have your girl running really hot. Although I don't know if you get that wood flavor. No, you don't get the wood flavor out of the silver.
Magic Friends does grab the Triforce out of 4. So they're going to get an unpleasant surprise when they get to level 5.
But first, they got to get their silver arrows out of here. Fortunately, not in this room. I forget exactly which room they're in. We do have a 7th place finish of a Mr. Eat My Steel. Official time 1:13:42. When taken into account the spoiler log check, that becomes a... Let's see here. 58:42.
Oh, it's Magic Friends versus Wait, they're still in level 4? Where they? Oh yeah,
They never picked up the silvers. Yes, we know Gliok lurks along the coast. Killing off the gorillas again. Probably looking for some sort of, I don't know, something. Does get a bomb drop. He has seen what's in the stair, but he's going to go double check it. Yep, that's where the bow was. I want to say the silvers were in this main portion of 4. You just had to clear the right room. Oh, wow. They rolled really low. Was this plus -4?
Yep.
Oh. Well, that would have been good to know going in.
Yeah, Pole's voice rolled way down, and the blue Grias rolled slightly up, and red Grias maxed out. Much.
Okay, Magic Friends is going into this room, and I believe this was the room that had the silvers. Just gotta clear it, which is easier said than done. Hopefully he's got some bombs to help out. Yep, there they are. So now all Magic Friends needs is that recorder out of 6 so we can go into 5 to get his Triforce so we can go to 9. And takes a death. Blue Dark Nuts are terrible. He's making his way to where level 5 is. It might take him a little bit to realize he's Dig Dugger blocked because he'll have to pick up that compass.
Sorry about that moment of silence, but I'm back.
Welcome back. So he sees the Dig Dugger. He's waiting for the Dig Dugger. He goes past the Dig Dugger.
Oh no.
Now he does already have the map in here, so he just needs to find the compass to get that confirmation. Also, what is the world record for the seed? Well, Fury said it tonight.
I don't think world records are a thing in randomizers because each seed is different unless you're given like a fixed seed.
I still think the world record for all randomizer seeds of all time was that 18-second one where I want to say it was Zelda 1 room up in 9 with 9 at start and again not required.
That sounds like a world record.
Otherwise, yeah, I think comparing to average or last run is a better way if you're going to look at how you're performing compared to how you have in the past.
Oh, for if anyone could say it, what is the recorder's tune tonight? Because I did not look for that.
I know I saw it on a couple of the runners' credits, but I just didn't remember. But I just don't remember what it is. And Magic Friends has to go get the recorder now. It sounds like we're getting some confirmation that it is the moon from DuckTales.
I've never watched DuckTales.
I have not either. But I have seen the NES game.
All I know is that it has like a catchy theme song and a Rich Miser old Donald Duck version.
So I believe his name is Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, that sounds about right, I think.
Magic Friend's now in level 6, looking for this recorder that he was hoping he really didn't have to get.
I mean, yeah, it's a recorder, but it actually ended up being very, very important tonight. I mean, it could have been worse. The seed could have been second quest and had some dungeons blocks behind the recorder.
I'm still waiting for the pure second quest miracle double meat block seed.
Well, you and I will both be waiting. And I'm just going to still wait for that Goma block silvers.
Why can't they both be in the same seed? One meat block to get the bow, the next meat block to get to the Goma that blocks the silvers.
Because the likelihood of that happening is just really, really, really low if I take probability into account.
You just take the law of averages, and if you do, I don't know, somewhere around 10 million seeds, you'll eventually find it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Although I do wonder what there is an option to generate batch seeds, so I wonder what the limit on that is. Now, Magic Friends does have the bow here, but I think it's in one of those couple of rooms that he hasn't been to yet is where the recorder is.
I believe so. But level 6 is kind of just... It's not... Yeah, it's level 6.
Now, you see, that hint works if you're wearing green clothes, but if you're wearing any color other than green, it doesn't quite work as well. And there's the recorder.
And Magic Friends is getting the heck out of level 6 and making a mad dash to level 5.
Based on how long level 5 is combined with how quick 9 can be, I figure he's probably about 10 minutes out.
True. Let's hope Magic Friends doesn't have difficulty locating Zelda.
I think if anything's going to trip him up, I think Ganon's actually more well hidden than Zelda is because you have to take that magic stare.
True.
And looking over the map of 9, it looks like you can take... There's a couple of stairs that you can take that get you over to the right section of 9. There's one stair in particular that puts you right next to his room. So again, depending on which stair you take in 9, that's going to really determine how fast you can find Ganon. Magic Friends will kill the Goma, the Dig Dogger, the boss.
It was blocking a Triforce, but now Magic Friends has all 8 Triforces and is going to make their way to level 9.
And we know that level 9 is over at the Coast Shop. I think he's going to try to whistle to another level to get there faster, or he's going to go back to 2 for that red ring.
He's going to 2. Smart play if he's not confident they can get Ganon with a green tunic. It's pretty...
Agreed.
If he's cleared all this, he would know.
Magic Friends did have trouble in level 4 before getting the silvers, so the red ring would be the smart play.
Plus, he already knows where it is, so he figures, for this much time, it's worth it to just not have to deal with 9. Does allow him to buy a potion if he wants it.
I mean, level 9, it can be quite brutal from time to time.
And today it does have that nice Pepto Pink palette, so... Dig Dogger, little ones rolled high. Fun fact, you can stun them with a boomerang.
So are you now promoting the boomerang now?
Yes. I don't care which boomerang you use, but you can use a boomerang to stun the Dig Dugger kids if you find either you're low on bombs or you don't particularly feel like spending the extra bombs to get the quick kill on it. Or if you find it rolled high enough to where it needs more than 2 bombs to kill, quick little stun with the boomerang will hold them in place, and then it just becomes a couple stabs. Or 9.
So as we are wrapping up eventually for the night, do you remember we have these Zelda 1 randomizer races weekly, as the title of the stream says. They're usually at 10 p.m. So at 10 o'clock in the night on every Sunday, you can usually find this here.
I also do want to give a shout out to our runners on stream, Fury, Mr. Cab, Sidetown, and Magic Friends, all for putting on a good show for us, as well as our tracker, Chess Jerk, my co-commentator, K-Tap, and the Speed Gaming family of channels.
I'd also like to ditto that. Thank you, Chess Jerk, for coming on, and thank you, Alcella, for last minute joining me so I wasn't talking to myself for the last hour. Sorry about the puppers in the background.
It looks like, based on his map, okay, he took that stair, which is putting him actually like right next to where Zelda is. You should clear this room out. He's not going to. Interesting. Now that could be a problem later.
Hey, if you want to see a photo of the peppers you hear in the background, how about you join the Zelda 1 Discord? Zelda 1 Randomizer Discord, because I think Zelda 1's separate. But there's plenty of stuff, like you can have races between other runners, you can chat with runners and get some help and stuff. The Zelda 1 Discord is a wonderful family, so I recommend you just hop on. It's a blast.
So, yes, the Zelda 1 and Zelda 1 Randomizer Discords are separate. The Zelda 1 Discord itself is related to vanilla speedrunning. But, where are we at here? So, Magic Friends is actually about to find Ganon's room here. And if Magic Friends goes back to that door that he left earlier, he will find Zelda, or he could find a compass. That would also get him the knowledge of Zelda, but here's Ganon.
And with the white sword, it's not going to take as many hits, so let's see if Magic Friends gets the stun lock.
I kind of see what he's doing here. He's going for trying to lead Ganon down over towards that southwest corner. And then he can try to get the stun lock on Ganon with a little bit of timing. It looks like Ganon's not being cooperative, but he is doing a good job of dodging all these fireballs, taking minimal damage, does get the stun lock at the end, kills Ganon, accepts the Triforce of Power, and is going to go back the way he came, presumably to that Moblin room.
And I believe Magic Friends located Zelda ahead of time.
He saw where Zelda's room was, but he did not clear the enemies to confirm it, and it looks like he's not heading back there immediately, so he's going to assume that that is not Zelda's room.
Looks like it's going to be another goose chase.
The thing with 9 is, unless you have a very good reason not to clear a room, if you see a room with a single shutter, you should go ahead and clear it. Valid reasons not to clear a room are if you have no ring and it's full of blue Wizrobes or blue Dark Nuts, or even blue Lionels. You can make a case that, okay, just come back later once you've killed Ganon to see if the door automatically opens, and at that point, then you'll know if that's Zelda's room or not, but you gotta make sure you take a note of that.
For those wondering, the spoiler log does not give Ganon or Zelda's locations, nor the location of the Triforces, nor what it gives you what enemies are going to be in the mix, but not what specific locations the enemies will be.
It also crucially does not give you any knowledge of what floor drops are where. So it doesn't tell you where the map is, where the compass is, where the floor item is, what rooms even do drop items. It doesn't tell you about ladder blocks. It doesn't tell you about, as K-Tap said, the enemies, the bosses.
It does tell you about which walls are bombable. No?
That it does. Well, it tells you which walls are solid. It doesn't tell you what the door is.
Does it tell you about invisible passageways if it was second quest?
It does give you the locations of each stair in the dungeon. I'm assuming that's what you're asking.
You know about how that you have the second quest walkthrough walls?
Those will just show up as places you can go through, but it doesn't tell you that it's a walkthrough wall.
Okay.
And there's the compass for Magic Friends. You did find that quite a bit quicker. He sees it's right there, and he sees that he's been to the room directly north of it, so he's going to go back there.
And soon we're going to be approaching Zelda.
Looks like it's just a stair loop around, and that will be it. The door is open. The fires are there. The silver arrows are ready. Magic Friends will finish with an official time of 1:31:19, 1:15, 1:16:19 after taking into account the 15-minute spoiler log. Everybody get your GGs in chat, as I cannot word get at this point.
So is that the last of our runners tonight for the spoiler log race, or do we have some more? Because I know we had 10 people.
Looks like we still have King Doll running. Instead of that, I'm not sure who else. Now, that is the last of our Restune runners, as you can see by the 4 finished screens.
So with all of our runners done, I do not know if Magic Friends is coming in to talk or not. Yes.
Sounds like he is, as he is here with us. GG, sir. Or ma'am, whichever applies. So that scene started out a little bit rough for you. Hold on just a quick second, folks. Sounds like there's some technical things and stuff going on.
So what do you think what was the highlight for you of this seed, also?
For me, it was the magical free red ring requires ladder and recorder. Followed very swiftly by the level 7.
That tier of level 7 was pretty nice.
What about you? What were your highlights from tonight?
Some of the shapes were pretty interesting. I mean, we had Pac-Man, Ghost, we had the level I'm just going to call Toilet Seat. We had as someone mentioned earlier in chat, the seesaw that needs to be built. The shapes of the levels were pretty cool because I couldn't really visualize it that well because it was weird formatting on the spoiler log for me, or maybe just because I prefer seeing things visual, not like with X's on that thing, but I like the shapes tonight.
You know, these spoiler log races are kind of interesting sometimes. I mean, all these races are interesting, just sometimes spoiler log has its own little charm to it.
Yeah, it's not something I get to see too often, so it's usually a treat.
Yes, normally these are the, alright, here's your seed. Good luck. Go do. Come out an hour and a half later, either super frustrated or, well, being upset with monkeys.
Oh no!
Hi, friends.
Hello.
GG.
Thanks.
So it looked like at the start of the siege, you were kind of trying to go a little bit everywhere and it looked like you were looking for something to stick.
Yeah, I got flustered. I went into 6, and for some reason, like my brain, so I marked like my Z helper ahead of time, and I went into 6 thinking it was 4, and then I got really confused because I'm like, why is this 4? This 4 doesn't lay out with the same way that the grid has. What is wrong? Why I can't go left here? What's going on? And then I realized, oh wait, I'm in 6. Like 12 rooms in, I'm like, oh wait, this says 6 at the top. That means I'm in 6. And so that kind of like, you know, when you start getting flustered and then you just keep going. So like the blue land moles in 4 got me more flustered. And then the red ring being behind a dig dogger as the last room that I checked in 2 got me even more flustered. And I was just like, at that point I had to I actually stopped at least once, if not twice, and was like, I think once I got the white, that's when, I took a deep breath and I'm like, let me go to 8, see if the white sword's kind of easy to get to. And once I picked that up, then I was okay. But until then, I was like, I was about to tilt right off.
Yeah, that is honestly a good skill to have, is to be able to just kind of step back and defluster when things start going our way. It's something that certain members of the community, like myself, especially myself, need to work on. So I commend you for that.
Yeah, I this is only the second or third time I've done a spoiler log thing, so I'm still getting comfortable with you get this. I don't know if anybody's ever, if any of the viewers have seen it, but you essentially get a notepad that just has stars and letters, and all the maps are kind of funky, and it'll tell you where all the items are, but not it tells you that I know that the bow and the silver arrows are in 4. I just have no clue where they are. So even in 4, I got to the point where it's like, what room haven't I cleared yet? I thought and when I went back in, I'm like, what room haven't I cleared yet? And I had marked that I went up towards the north, but I didn't go past the extra staircase. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be behind the staircase. It's kind of why I was mumbling around in there at the end too. So
yeah, there's a spoiler log takes a bit to get used to, and I would recommend, if you are going to join a spoiler log race, generate a seed with one first before the 15-minute window, just to get familiar with the format of it. Because if you're not familiar with the format of it, it can be tough to read through to figure out what's where.
Yeah, 100%.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, the first time I looked at a spoiler log was literally right before this race. So most of it was self-explanatory, though there was a couple things I just had to clarify on. because, for example, the staircases are represented by letters, and if you don't have Z Helper, don't memorize the map, the item locations and stuff on dungeon locations are just grid letters.
So, yeah, my big thing was I only had time. I had time to mark down like all my items, and I think you might even be able to see it on my screen now because my Z Helper pops up right where my on my overlay, right where my gameplay is afterwards. And like I had time to completely map out exactly what was in 9, which is why 9 looked so easy for me because I have every single line. I'm like, well, this is the hardest dungeon to get through. I have to figure out where Zelda is. And I'm like, okay, well, why don't I just map out all of 9 now that I've recorded like where all the good items are and the overworld, like where all the locations are I need on the overworld. I'm like, I'll map out 9 and then it'll probably be time. I probably should have mapped out like 4 or like 6 to get the recorder so I could move around the map faster because those were a lot harder for me than 9 was.
Yeah, I think the strategy that I kind of employ on these is get my items marked, get the overworld marked as far as big and medium secrets that are in the way, get my shops marked in case the candle's in somewhere strange, like say Death Mountain where there's no dungeons like the Seed. And then just kind of briefly look at each dungeon without really marking it and try and kind of get an idea for how bad it's going to be. And from there, I literally spend like the last 3 minutes not marking a thing and just kind of thinking about where I need to go in the overworld first, regardless of where I spawn, and just try and sort out, okay, this is my exact strategy for the first 5 minutes of the Seed. Get this large secret, get this sword, get a candle from here, and maybe get to the Armos item. And then from there, I start looking at maps as I go into the dungeons.
Yeah, I think I would have been better off instead of mapping out 9 if I took those 2 minutes and just figured out like you said, like, okay, I want this red. Like my concept was, let me get the bow and let me go get this red ring. So I should have mapped out like, go get the sword, Death Warp, go to 4, get the bow and silvers, go get the secret up at level 5, and then get the candle on Death Mountain and move over to 2, because that's what I had marked. I hadn't marked all of the different shops. I knew that there was a candle shop and a secret up at the top of the screen. So I think if I had taken that time, I would have been a lot faster. But it's still fun. It's still all these different. That's one thing about the Zelda randomizer. Like you can have completely different gameplay styles one week to the next, and I enjoy that more than pretty much anything in the game.
Yeah, this play style pretty much fits me because I think there was one major patch where like me and Panzer Dave went probably 100 seeds deep and just looked at spoiler logs and kind of sorted through and tried to find and break Fred's game so that he had to fix it and kind of help him get through all the bugs. And because of that, this is like the easiest thing for me, but for someone who's just kind of jumping in, this is their second, third time looking at a spoiler log, it's definitely a lot harder to manage and kind of think through the first couple of times. So I guess I had a bit of an unfair advantage in that regard.
It's okay. You're allowed to use your own skills.
Yeah, well, it was still very close between you and Cabs, so we're okay. So we're gonna go with that.
GG for on the first place, 5 minutes ahead of Shaddy. And usually, that kind of gap at the start from first to second is getting much rarer in these races. So, congrats.
Thanks, and GG's.
GG.
I think with that, unless there's any like super most definitely absolutely final thoughts, that's probably going to do it for us here. So on behalf of our 4 featured runners, Slytown, Magic Friends, Mr. Cab, and Furious Key, on behalf of our tracker Chesterk, on behalf of my co-commentator K-Tap, and on behalf of the Speed Gaming family channels, this has been Alsoa. We wish you all a good night and try to stay warm and safe out there.